Well, did you see that tweet from what was it, Virginia Heffernan from the LA Times earlier today talking about the gun ownership for the 50-mile radius?
No.
So she was saying I guess she was like buying a house or just looking at this issue, but she was talking about, she's totally ridiculous. She's the one who had the Trump supporting neighbor who was shoveling her lawn, and she was like, or shoveling her driveway, and like, I don't know if I should thank him or what should I say to this.
Did he really shovel my driveway? Is the snow actually gone?
Did he shovel it out of hate? I mean, it was white snow, so perhaps he's building some sort of
snowball.
So no, she had a tweet up today where she was saying in real estate listings they should. This is the LA Times columnist. She's worked at Wired. That they should include how many people own guns around you for a 50-mile radius, and then correct me if I'm getting any of this wrong, and then include a list of all the mass shootings that have taken place in conjunction. Now, obviously, having a list of all the gunners is completely illegal, but also like
there are websites you can look at for criminal reports.
Well, no, that's what I was saying. I just quote tweeted and I was like, yeah, who wants to tell her? Because I'm willing to bet that in some of the lowest crime radiuses of the United States, there's a ton of law-abiding gun owners.
Yes.
Right? We know
depends on the crime, right? So out here, there's a whole lot of drugs.
Sure, okay.
But it's like people strung out.
I'm guessing, and might be reading between the lines. I'm pretty sure she means violent crime.
Right. She actually says gun violence.
Okay, she says gun violence in there. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I'm pretty sure it's a lot safer out here. I'd be more worried about Chicago. Lots of gun laws and lots of people shooting each other.
Let's
like West Virginia's constitutional carry, and people like I hear gunshots all the time. The other day.
Yeah, Baltimore's not that far away though.
Well, so something I explained a while ago. It's when I live in New York and I hear gunshots, that freaks me out.
Right.
Because you're not supposed to. Also, it's a really dense urban area. Like, what are they shooting?
Right.
Out here, it's like I wake up and there's gun. I wake up and I'm kind of worried when there aren't gunshots. I'm like, the neighbor's not out. Something wrong?
Yeah, neighbors are just,
I'm worried about the neighbors, man.
Yeah,
one time I think one of the neighbors came out with his kids because it was just like, sounded like, it sounded full auto, but it was just like four people just shooting all at the same time.
Well,
that should be illegal.
There's places in West Virginia where you can do that. Some of the training I did when I was still in the intelligence community, we did out in a spot in West Virginia where they were able to get licenses and permits to shoot. I mean, we shot some pretty fun stuff.
We just shot 50 BMG a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
there's a range in Georgia where you can shoot full auto. Oh, cool. It's great. Really expensive, but it's great.
Yeah. There's a thing they do at the DEF CON, which is the hacker convention, where like in the early days they go out into the Mojave and they set up a bunch of guns. And when I went there several years ago, it's like 8 years ago maybe now, this guy had a like belt-fed 7.62, I think, and it was like you got to pay for the rounds yourself and then have at it. So we had big boxes of belts, and it's like
M24.
I don't know which gun it was.
M240,
he had like 3 different ones, and they were just like people were like, it was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, we did that this place down went with Ashley St. Clair, and we were outside of Houston. They call it Hella Bacon, where you can actually get permits to go up and do this. It's a company that runs it. It's totally not a commercial, et cetera, et cetera. But so they do one range day where you can just, anything you want to shoot, literally anything, up to and including a minigun.
RPG?
Oh
yeah. You can shoot an RPG?
No, not an RPG. Not
like,
RPG.
come on.
No, not an RPG. And then the next day, you get up super early in a helicopter. They take you up to shoot wild hogs.
Yes,
with full auto AR-15s, and you're flying over the ranch, and the ranches want you to do
full auto
this.
AR-15s.
Full auto
so
AR-15s.
They're modified or what?
They're modified. Select fire.
Wow.
Yeah.
Isn't that just an M16?
No, because they're still the compact.
They make right. Yeah, a lot of people don't understand how bad hogs are.
It's horrible.
Everywhere.
So the ranchers want you up there doing it, right? This is an invasive species. They are pests. They tear it up. They kill. They kill. They can go after livestock, and so. But it's wild, and people don't realize the culture difference because on your way to these ranches, you're flying there and you're up in the air above I'm looking down. I'm like, there's a town right below me, right? And it's Texas, so you pop off there, you're gonna start shooting back.
This is my thing on the Great Reset. I'm kind of like
it's totally different from the East Coast kind of mentality.
If the Great Reset is limited to if you live in big cities, you eat the bugs and live in the pod, I'll be like, okay. Like if you have a choice to live in these awful places, sure, whatever. People can choose to do that.
There are always going to be hogs to hunt. It is impossible to get rid of them. It's impossible to get rid of
them.
It's
we were up
season
there
on them basically everywhere where they exist, and they still can't keep the numbers down.
We were up there for hours, and they just kept coming. We stopped because we were running low on fuel, and we were like, all right, we got to flight out.
Anybody who's familiar with any kind of MMORPG knows that there's hogs everywhere.
They're just respawning.
That's how you level up.
So exactly. I know. So my level, I mean, I came in pretty low. Like I was like novice level.
A lot of experience.
As South Park got this wrong. You can't just kill hogs, boars to level up because once you're a few levels above them, you stop getting experience for doing it.
You were well rested though, so you got an XP bonus. While you were
exactly. Yeah, absolutely. That's right.
That's hilarious.
Eventually, got to go for the most dangerous game,
like the boss hog.
The boss hog.
You got to find the boss hog. Shout out
giant 20-foot.
And we were after. So they had coyotes as well.
Hunting coyotes.
We had coyotes out there as well. Yeah.
You know what they need? Wolves.
We can find them.
The issue is that in a lot of places, with wolves being displaced because they were a threat to us, right?
Right.
And so they fled. Then you get invasive species running rampant. Deer population explodes. Man, people don't understand why you hunt deer, and these city people.
It's also true.
I'll put it this way: I'd be willing to bet. Let's do a study that if you went to a city and asked this question. Okay, here's a question for you, Jack. You see a butterfly caught in a spider's web. Do you free it?
Me personally, no.
Why not?
Because I know that spider is going to be there. It's going to then consume the butterfly and all those other pests and gnats, and I don't know if a spider would go after a cicada, but maybe, right?
So the idea
spider is a filtration system, essentially.
Right. I'd be willing to bet that if you go to a city, or if you go to like a liberal and ask, they'd free the butterfly, whereas a conservative wouldn't. Because obviously we understand the beauty of the butterfly. I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong about this. Maybe liberals are just ruthless and they're like, kill them both or something crazy. I don't really think that. I think they typically would be like, the butterfly is an important pollinator and it's beautiful and a part of nature and it shouldn't die to a spider. The spider can eat anything else. And so a lot of conservatives would probably just be like, circle of life, the spider eats the bugs, eats the pests, butterfly or not. So that's a difference in mentality. I think about, so we're city folk out here. We had a deer feeder. And they were like, oh, you're going to kill some deer? And we're like, no, I'm just going to feed them. I'm like, why? They're pests. No, they're like, they're awful.
Yeah,
we hate them.
That's exactly what it was like
They
in Texas.
overpopulate.
Exactly.
They destroy crops. They destroy trees. They need the population levels need to be kept down. Otherwise, they get diseased and ridden with like nasty parasites.
They starve to death.
And so they're like, don't just feed them. And I'm like, well, the good news is they don't like the deer feeder. The birds do. And they're like, oh, the birds are fine.
Hey, we had this growing up. Valley Forge Park was always a huge place for us to go on weekends. Ended up actually got engaged, got married right near there. And but because it's federal protected, it's a federal park, right, national park, the deer know this, and so they know if they go in, they go in there, right? Well, they know that like this is like a safe area, right? So you get to the point where when it's dusk, you like can't drive around. Right, because the deer are everywhere and they're tearing up all this stuff, and a lot of the land right there, that's actual, some of it's some of these dirt forts and different fortifications that were made by the actual Continental Army under George Washington during that winter. So Philadelphia has fallen, the British have taken it. This is prior to the crossing of the Delaware and the Battle of Trenton, and so just before that, I should say. And so, these deer are tearing up actual U.S. history, but, and this is Pennsylvania, so people are like, so can we go after the deer, please? And the federal government had to do this whole, like, permit system to let people go in and then hire guys from, like, the USDA to come in. So there's actually, like, a deer death squad, basically.
Wow.
And I believe it's under USDA, if I remember. It's, like, years ago. And I'm like, how do you
They're walking around armed?
up for, oh, yeah.
Which department are you with? USDA. You step aside. The deer's
Step
ours.
aside, kid, man. Step aside, baby.
I hope you're all sitting down because this might infuriate you, but this morning I saw a deer and it was eating our mulberries.
What?
Whoa.
It was eating our mulberries.
Tim, what are guns for?
I know.
That's right.
Defending the mulberry.
The mulberry.
And I was shaking like, I can't kill Bambi. And it was like, your mulberries are mine.
Don't worry. It was Bambi's mom.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
That's okay.
Yeah.
then.
That's
So,
like that's like Simpsons. Don't let their bovine nature fool you, Timmy. Given the chance, a cow would kill you and your entire family.
We have pawpaw trees out here. Do you guys know what pawpaws are? They're like, I guess they're like mango and banana combined.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
It's like the only that fruit of that type in North America or something. So we have this tree, and I remember seeing like the deer were always crowding on our driveway because there's a tree right there, and in August and September, or whatever, all these fruits are there, and they're like they're in the middle of the road. So no, for real. Like when you're coming down at night, there's no street lights or anything.
No.
You got to be real careful, and then you see them standing there. They're really dumb.
Yep.
They just like they'll walk up to the car and just stare at you as you're like heading like, "What's this?" I'm like,
Yeah, like we talk about Darwin Awards, but no, really.
there's just too many of them. We got turkeys too. We got a lot of turkeys.
Yeah, I've seen them
Same-
walking around in the woods, dude.
Yeah,
They
same.
gang up on you. They're around you like.
Yeah, they
Like-
walk up to you, start pushing. You're like,
Just talking smack. You're like, all right, I'm gonna try to get back to the house.
I was unprepared for how well you gobble.
No, but it's the same thing when you talk to people out here. They're like, turkeys, huh? We can help you out with that. And I'm like, what's the problem? They're like, turkeys are pests. Like you got to get rid of them.
They're like, turkeys are bad people, Tim. Like, you don't understand.
Then like they have like a
We-
video
we
of turkeys
don't like
spray
their
painting on
kind
property.
around
and-
here.
Yeah.
Turkeys are just spray painting and
And
vandalizing
then
property.
it's like the beginning of one of those cop shows, and you see that it's the turkeys.
Of course, it was the turkeys. He just like sniffed.
Dude,
Turkeys were out. Well, this
someone saw a mountain lion out here. Yeah, out where we're at.
Not cool.
Really?
Yeah.
Like really.
Yeah. Which is I don't know why it's rare. It
Nasty.
happens.
Yeah.
But we were told that on this side of the river because if you guys have ever played any MMORPG, you know that certain mobs can only spawn on certain sides of the river. Like if you're
Different
in
zones.
Yeah, like if you're in Elwyn Forest, you know that the boars and the gnolls don't spawn in Darkshire, and the ghouls don't spawn in Elwyn. So across the river from us, there's like bears, and it's like way more serious because it's West Virginia. But in the Maryland side, they're like, you don't got to worry about anything. It's like deer. It's like really low level stuff. But every so often, a bear or a bobcat or a mountain lion will be spotted. And so people were saying like, not too far from here in this area in Western Maryland, they spotted a mountain lion or whatever. So they're like, you got to be careful. Now think about that. You live out one of these houses. You get an alert. You see on Facebook, like, guys, we got a report from the local authorities. There's a mountain lion spotted in the area. Please be armed and safe. Think about that. Please be armed and safe.
Yeah.
And now you get these laws. Hey, AR-15, come on, man. Ain't nobody need 15, 10 rounds.
Yeah.
And then people are like, if you can't hit it in 10 rounds, you shouldn't be shooting at it. Oh, okay. So I'm not a
They sure showed
professional.
us.
I'm not a professional military man or law enforcement guy, but I want to keep my friends and family safe from a mountain
No,
lion.
Tim,
and if
you
it
don't
takes me more, look,
understand.
maybe I'm really bad, and I'm like trying to
Yes.
protect myself from a mountain lion. Yeah, maybe I need to have a standard capacity magazine of 30 rounds.
If
Well,
you're
I
not a
mean-
marketman, your whole family should die if someone breaks in.
That's right.
If a mountain lion breaks in.
Given that situation, I mean, I have a military background, but I've never considered myself to be like there's certain, I don't know, like as you come influencers, pundits out there that are like really focused on Second Amendment and shooting, and like that's their whole thing. I love them; they're great guys. I've always been more like the current events, breaking news kind of guy. But just to defend the AR-15 for a second, right? That you're talking about a firearms platform where the reason so many people use it is because it is versatile and
Yep.
because it is something that has a great accuracy for someone who is a hobbyist, for someone who is just getting into guns, that you're going to have a better propensity for actually hitting your target rather than you're using like a Glock or a 45, any 9mm, any handgun, right? Certainly at a greater distance, right? You are going to put your rounds on target in a safer, more controlled situation with an AR-15 than you would with almost any other firearm out there, speaking generally.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. If you want to see the full show, come back to this channel, youtube.com/TimcastIRL, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., where you can leave comments and super chat, and we actually will read your comments on the show. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and if you want exclusive members-only content, segments you can't get anywhere else, go to timcast.com, become a member, and we even have full bonus episodes. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.